If you're hunting for a budget-friendly Xbox or PC controller, you've probably come across the GameSir G7 SE. It promises versatile compatibility, precise control, and even customizable back buttons for a pro-level gaming experience. But here's what surprised me. It's not all smooth sailing with this controller. In fact, there are some hidden flaws that might make you think twice before clicking buy. So, if you're wondering whether the G7 SE lives up to the hype, or if it's just another overhyped gadget, you're in the right place. Stick around because my honest review will reveal everything, from the good, the bad, to the what moments that most reviews skip. Let's kick things off by talking about compatibility and design, because that's where the G7 SE tries to score its first points. The controller claims support for Xbox Series XS, Xbox One XS, and PC on Windows 10 or newer. That's already a big deal for gamers who juggle multiple platforms. Plus, the wired USB connection is plug-and-play, meaning no annoying drivers or software installations delaying your start. It even has a removable USB cord, which is a neat touch because losing or damaging a wire is less of a nightmare. Now, if you're a hardcore gamer, precision is king. GameSir promises Hall-effect joysticks and triggers, which should theoretically mean smoother, more accurate movement and longer durability. Plus, they've added 2 customizable back buttons to help you fine-tune your control layout. Sounds like a dream, right? Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. But hold that excitement because the real gameplay experience has a few bumps along the way. Rehook alert. What if I told you that despite these premium-sounding features, the G7 SE throws in some unexpected gameplay quirks that could cost you critical wins? Keep watching because I'll cover the joystick drift issues and trigger response times that might have you throwing this controller across the room, pun intended. The first thing I noticed when I unboxed the GameSir G7 SE was the build quality. At $44.99, it's cheaper than most first-party controllers, which sounds like a win for your wallet. The controller feels solid enough in hand, not too light or plasticky. Plus, those laser-engraved grips actually do help with sweating during long sessions. No more slipping mid-boss fight. And hey, having a 3.5mm headphone jack is a lifesaver for quick audio setups without fumbling for adapters. But here's the kicker. While the controller looks the part, the Hall-effect joysticks did show signs of drift after a modest amount of playtime. Drift, for those who don't know, is when the joystick registers movement even if you're not touching it. It's like your controller has a mind of its own, and unless you're trying to add an AI partner to your game, that's a bad thing. I checked multiple user reviews and forums, and this seems to be a common complaint. GameSir boasts improved game accuracy, but joystick drift is a big letdown here. Speaking of accuracy, the triggers offer pulsating vibration feedback and asymmetric vibration grip motors. This should deliver immersive haptic feedback to make shooting games feel like you're in the action, and in theory it does. However, the vibration tends to be inconsistent. Sometimes it's too strong, sometimes barely noticeable. In a game where tactile feedback can mean the difference between a headshot and a respawn, this inconsistency is frustrating. It's like the controller's way of playing hard to get with your skills. Quick joke break. Why did the gamer break up with the controller? Because it just didn't respond right. The customizable back buttons initially excited me. Having extra buttons accessible on the back can dramatically improve response times and avoid those awkward finger gymnastics. But setting them up felt like solving a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. The customization software is clunky and not very intuitive, especially compared to high-end controllers. Plus, eliminating false triggers, one of the selling points, was hit or miss. Some gamers reported accidental button presses anyway, turning precision into chaos. Let's talk comfort because no controller review is complete without it. The ergonomic handle with textured grips does provide a comfortable, non-slip hold during intense gaming marathons. That's a plus. Compared to other budget controllers, it doesn't feel like you're gripping a slippery bar of soap. But be warned, if you have unusually large hands, the layout might feel cramped over time. So this controller is really best suited for average to small hand sizes. If you're someone who plays on PC frequently, compatibility with Steam and Windows 10 Plus is great news. The plug-and-play wired USB connection is straightforward. No need to hunt for drivers. Just plug in and start playing immediately. Yet, there were reports of occasional connectivity hiccups, especially when playing wirelessly using adapters sold separately. Definitely something to consider if you prefer cordless freedom. Another surprise. The GameSir G7 SE suffers from a subtle but annoying lack of gyroscopic controls, a feature increasingly common even in budget controllers. If you enjoy motion aiming or tilt-based gameplay, this might be a deal-breaker, especially for games like Fortnite or Apex Legends, where precise motion controls can give a slight edge. By now, you're probably wondering, who is this controller really for? If you want a cheap wired option for casual gaming on Xbox or PC without bells and whistles, it's worth considering. Or if you simply want a backup controller that won't break the bank, the G7 SE fits the bill. But if you're a competitive gamer after premium features, flawless precision, and long-term reliability, there are better options, even slightly pricier ones. Before I wrap this up, here's a 30-second story worth sharing. I lent the GameSir G7 SE to a friend who's a semi-pro gamer for his weekend stream. At first, he loved the gripping texture and responsive triggers during setup. But after 3 hours of play, he messaged me complaining of joystick drift and random disconnections. Guess what? He switched back to his trusty Xbox Elite controller faster than I could say, patch update. This goes to show, real-world use can be very different from product specs and controlled tests. Another joke to lighten the mood: what do you call a controller that refuses to connect? A disconnect tie-in. Okay, I'll stop pestering your ears with puns. In summary, the GameSir G7 SE is a mixed bag. It offers solid features on paper, versatile device compatibility, Hall effect sensors, custom back buttons, and immersive vibration feedback, all at a wallet-friendly price. The build is decent, and the design focuses on comfort. But joystick drift, inconsistent vibration, clunky customization, and lack of gyroscopic controls put a damper on the overall experience. If you're buying a controller for casual play or as a budget backup, the G7 SE does deliver decent value. However, if precision and long-lasting performance are your priorities, you might want to consider alternatives. For example, the Xbox Series S controller or SteelSeries Straight S Duo offers better reliability, though at a higher cost. Now here's my final take, and it might surprise you. Despite the flaws, the GameSir G7 SE is not a total loss. It's a good gateway controller for new gamers or those on a strict budget. Its customizable features and plug-and-play versatility still make it an attractive option if you're willing to accept minor quirks. Remember, no product is perfect, and sometimes a little patience goes a long way. So, what do you think? Is the GameSir G7 SE worth a shot for your gaming setup, or would you rather save up for a higher-tier controller? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to hear your take. One last joke to send you off. Why did the joystick go to school? To improve its control issues. Alright, I swear that's the last one. If you want to grab the best price on the GameSir G7 SE, check the link in the description below. The prices can fluctuate pretty fast, so don't wait too long if you're interested. Remember, whether you end up buying it or not, doing your research pays off big when it comes to gaming gear. Thanks for watching and happy gaming.